Okay, so hello everyone, good evening. Let's begin. Great. Now, guys, today we'll be starting off with understanding what are the functions that usually we follow into the list. So, list is a topic that we have covered today. Now, guys, before starting off the list, right? I think we already started. We already understood the last lecture in the strings, and in the strings there are few things which are remaining, right? So just like simple joins are remaining and the user input, these two things are remaining. Before that, I wanted to ask you one thing, like how many of you tried the assignment? Like, were you able to solve the assignment? What was the scenario? It was pretty good, right? I mean, the questions that were there, we had taken pretty good use cases, and through that, we tried to solve it. So I think I don't see a problem. Anyone might have not done it. So if anyone, many of them are not there today. I think eventually, let's say they'll join in between. But if you can just tell me what all, how many of you actually tried this? Mhm. Yes. Okay. Seems like many of you might have not tried it. Fine, no issues. Okay, people are just joining in. So, hello everyone. Guys, just a simple question to everyone again. How many of you tried the assignment? Okay, so I just hope don't do that, right? Try to attend it. If you're not able to do that, let me know. Okay, we'll sit and solve it. So I think I've already told you. And if you're getting a time, I would highly recommend try to solve it. Okay, don't miss out on the these things, because now we'll add a lot of things into it now. That is like a basics. Now guys, see, the idea from now is, let's say we are already doing a lot of different assignments and all. So now I'll be telling you few things. I'll be adding you into few we can say just websites where you need to start doing a Python practice. Okay, so their Python practice will consist of doing certain kind of problems on a regular basis, right? So for a month or two, till the time you don't get bit comfortable around this language of Python, okay, you have to do it. Keep on doing it, and afterwards also keep on doing it. So once you get pretty good feel, so from the third month, we are planning to start with lead codes also, right? Because see, it's fine that you have the GPTs and all, but still logic building is the main part, and we have to focus on the logic building. Okay. There also you are taking the problems, asking a GPT to do a certain thing, that's fine. But what I told you, the important thing is to understand how you are breaking down that into the different prompts, breaking down that problem to understand the simple parts of it. And that is where your logical thinking will start building. Once that is fine. Now, once we are done with loops and functions are done. After that, we'll be doing one good project. Okay, I'll tell you what that project will be, and then that particular project, let's say, will be done in the proper VS Code. I've already told you how to deal with VS Codes. I've already told you how exactly you should register and get your credentials and every single thing. Okay, sorry, as in like how to download it and everything. About GitHub also. You have already. I hope you are doing that. So once I'll explain you a certain project. After that, you will be given one use case. Okay. So if you go to our section, right, in the company sections, you will see that there is a student challenges that is there. Okay. So from there, you can create the groups of 2 to 3 people. And then, we expect you to solve a certain kind of challenge. So that challenge will have the very good problem statement. So you need to do every single thing about it. Let's say understand the problem, gather what kind of requirements are there in that, and finally, try to write the very structured code for that particular part. So how to write the structure codes and all will start very, very soon once we are done with simple functions and loops. Then you will have, let's say, pretty good area where, you have done certain kind of things. After that, we'll understand about file handling, exception handling, and once we are done with that, and then it will be more easy for you to, understand and grasp the things. So as I think the time is, accurate and perfect to do a project with respect to this only Python, right? In total, we'll have like around 7 8 good projects. That's not a problem. But when you talk about this particular part, you should know like how to solve, a certain thing. So to get that particular knowledge, will be, dealing in that particular way. Okay. Another thing, as I told you, please don't miss out on the assignments. Okay, these are created with, very care, I would say, and I've really put on in the efforts to create that. Okay, so it's like properly thinking. Okay, what kind of level should be kept over there? Whatever things are already given and taught to you, only those concepts are already there. So you don't have to worry about any other part. Just try it. If you don't understand, ask me, as I've already told you. Okay. So now, before starting off with, let's say the list that we are, going to start today. So we have something called a join functions. Okay. So now, guys, see, first of all, before let's say explaining about what exactly these joins are, and what's the use case, it carries and what exactly it is. One simple thing, try to understand. Whenever we try to split the text, now understand, let's take a simple example. Let's suppose, okay, let me take the whiteboard. I'll share you something. Now, see, whenever you will try to solve any kind of problem, right? Let that be any natural language problem or AI problem, or let's say wherever you are trying to write a certain amount of prompts. So the other day, what I told you, whatever you will be writing, okay, it will have the text inside it. That will be textual data. And one thing what I told you was, it is not possible to pass the complete textual data at once into any kind of, or let's say, algorithm in simple terms. Matlab kya, see, you cannot ask a one particular student, let's say XYZ particular student is preparing for the exams. You cannot ask her or him to, okay, read about this also, this also, this also, this also, like, read from 10 different resources, read, study. So that is not possible, right? So is it possible at one single time you are passing every single thing inside one a particular person? That is not possible. So how maybe we can do it? Okay, you can pass that particular thing into a person, but slowly you can do that. Let's say first of all you can tell him, okay, read from the books now. Tomorrow, then you can think about reading from the, let's say, YouTube. Then you can think about reading from some kind of blogs, right? Then you can think about your own notes that you have taken. So like this, the steps are there. So that we have seen, okay, it is not possible to pass the whole amount of data at once. Okay. So what we do, we try to break that particular data. We try to break that data into smaller chunks like this. One, two, three, four, like these chunks will have. Okay. Smaller, let's suppose there is one sentence called as, say, hey, hello, how are you? So then, hey, hello, how are you? So five things will be splitted into the different text. So this thing we already did, right? So we already have, let's suppose, let's say string one, let's say string one equal to, we already had this, okay, hello, how are you, right? So this already we did, right? And if I now just do, let's say, string one dot split, right? So this thing you already did. We'll see that now. See, when we are splitting the data, what's happening? The string is now getting converted into word by word and it is being stored inside the list. As I told you, right? These brackets that you see, these are the list brackets. Anything inside the square brackets is a list. Okay. And that is the whole topic that we're going to cover today. Now, as soon as you're getting this particular list over here, so what you have now, let's suppose now you have got this particular data, right? And that is how exactly the pre-processing actually works in the bigger data sets also. Okay. Have the feel of whatever you are using now, where exactly it will be used in future. Now, understand, let's suppose now, here I have only taken one single sentence. Imagine you have, let's say, a bunch of sentences. Let's say you have 50 different documents at one together. So what you're doing now, you're trying to split that 50 documents in single like this. You will split that. Once that splitting is done, what you have now, you have word by word. Every single word is there with you. So then what we try to do is, we try to do some kind of, you can understand, some pre-processing on it. It is just like, let's say we have the festivals, right? So in the festivals, what we do, from the complete house, we try to take out one small thing, one small thing, one small thing, one small thing. Then finally, we will try to clean it. We clean it, we wash it or whatever it is, and again gather everything at one single place. Imagine this exactly as the same. So what we are doing now, we have a bunch of text. Another thing is what we need to do now, we need to text, let's say clean that particular text. Because see, in simple terms, if you want your house to look very, very perfect for any kind of festival, you need to clean the things which are inside that, right? In very, very simple terms. In very traditional way, we say, the gods only come at a place, where it's very, very clean, something like that. Now understand, it's same about the data only. You talk about textual data. If you want to pass a certain data to an algorithm, okay, let's say algorithm is a festival. So if you want to have that particular algorithm to working very, very properly, you need to pass the data which is very, very clean. Now, what are the steps that is not a part of today? In simple terms, clean. And once you are cleaning that, you again need to gather that everything, in together. So now let's suppose now I have splitted all this particular, let's say text. And then I got to know that, okay, now my whole cleaning is done. And now what I need to do, I again need to combine this particular whole thing. Because see, I cannot, let's suppose user will ask me, let's say chat GPT go, let's say, see, chat GPT ka backend also is performing the in exactly similar way. What we are doing, we are getting a whole huge amount of data. So just the data size is bigger. It will have, let's say, billions and trillions of data points. Okay, the data sets are huge, but they're also doing the small chunking only. Yeah, they might not do the chunking of, let's say, single word, but maybe sentences, but they're breaking down that particular thing. Now understand, if they break that down and if they keep it like that only, what will happen? So tomorrow, let's suppose if I ask ChatGPT, hello, can you tell me about, let's say, can you tell me about something? Let's say, can you tell me about, hello, can you tell me about DS? So whenever answer you will get answer in this way. Okay, DS, right, is okay. The like this, you will get an answer in exactly this particular fashion. Why? Because you already did some kind of processing on it, and after that, you did not combine that again in together. Okay, so after performing this particular step, there is a need to join all that particular text together, and this joining itself is called, you done by this join function. So in the join function, what we do, let's suppose simply we just try to add like this. Okay, and in here, what we'll do, see here, dot join. Okay, and we'll simply pass, let's say we have this string one. Hey, what happened? Oh, string one. Oh, I have just a sweat. Sorry. See here, guys. So now we have given a space over here. Just remove the space. Let's see here. Now I got exactly the same back. Again, I got back to the same value where I was there. Okay. Now this join function, let's suppose if you now, let's say you said, okay, oh no, let's suppose now I want to join them different numbers. So let's suppose I'll take an example. Let's suppose words are there. Okay. Let's say, and in the list, let's suppose I have one, let's say, sorry, uh, string, something like this, SR, 1, 2, 3, something like this is there. Or let's say something like this. Okay. Now let's suppose now if I want to add all of them together. So what I can do, let's suppose I can create, let's say, new variable sentence, and I want to form the sentence out of it. So what I'll do, space dot join the words. That's it. Now if I print it, you will see that, guys. Okay. We cannot do this. Okay, wait. What I can do is either you can combination नहीं होगा ना वो. Wait. I'll tell you what happened. Okay. Now see here, guys. SR and AW. Right now at the same time, let's suppose now you said, okay, no, see, I don't want to add a sentence like this. I want to have, let's say, an hyphen mark in between like this. So now we'll get SR and AW. Okay. You thought, okay, no, I want explanatory mark, or let's say like this. You can get this particular part. Okay. So in very, very simple terms, what we are trying to do is, guys. So I hope you understood the core logic behind this particular, this particular join function. The join function is a function where when you have the text which is splitted into multiple, let's say, sub parts, to combine that particular text at one place again, we use something called a split function. Okay. So I hope, sorry, join function. Okay. So I hope, this is very, very clear to everyone, right? There is no problem into that. Now, let's suppose now see, you can now try to apply a different analogies over here. Now understand, let's suppose I have fruits. So what I can do is, let's suppose I have apple, and say I'll have, let's say banana, something like this. Okay. And maybe what I can do is, let's suppose now I have, let's say result that I want to store. Okay, and how can I store the results? Let's suppose maybe I can. Okay, first of all, I'm doing this. That's fine. Apple, fruit, banana. But now what I can do is, maybe I can try to add some f string over here, right? So how can I add f string over here? Let's suppose now f like this, d, anything we can add, right? Let's suppose, okay, inside the print I can write something like, okay, let's say this is that d, let's suppose something like this, right? The names given are the something like this. Okay, makes sense, right? And wait, I'll pass that as a result. Okay, so you'll see that now the names given are apple, banana, and cherry. Means what, guys? Very easily you can just add multiple things together. Okay, multiple things together. Let's suppose what I did now, nothing else, just I added a f string over here. Okay, so I hope now let's suppose a very simple example can be, let's say you have an email. Okay, and let's say you have a user. So what I'm asking is, let's suppose now you have an email. I'll add one email over here. Example. Okay, let's say emails are there. Okay, let's take suppose, let's say user one at the rate gmail.com. That's like a one email. Second is, let's suppose user two at the rate gmail.com. Sorry. Okay. Now let's suppose now what I did was, let's suppose I want to create one single line out of it. Let's say what I did, email underscore line. So what I can do is here, let's say now let's suppose now see what I want to do is, I want to add them, but I need to have, let's suppose, something like this in between them. Okay, so that we can distinguish it. So let's suppose comma join and in bracket emails. Okay, and simply print the email line. No, not join, sorry. Yeah, okay. So like this we have got it. So guys, you see in this particular way, we just try to add this particular part. As you given increase the space, you will see here also we got one space, and here also we got one space. Okay. So the way you will try to join it, according to that, it will work. The in that particular favor. So it is just like important to make sure that this is how exactly addition is being used. Second thing is you cannot add a multiple data types together. So as I told you, right? Let's say we did something like this, right? Let's suppose we had a data, right? And let's say we have and let's say we have 10, and let's say we have again uh, let's say anything, okay, like this. So now if I'm trying to, let's say, print join, then it is not possible, right? Why? Because either you can add all the integers or either you can add anything that is completely string. Okay, you cannot add like a multi domains like this, multiple things you cannot add like this. Okay, guys. So I hope everyone is pretty clear with this particular part, right? Now, okay, everyone, all good. What happened? People don't seem to be active today. Be active, man. Great. Okay. Now this is done. Let me just check out with everyone else. What's the status? Yeah, now we have pretty good amount of people. Guys, try to join a bit early, okay? Don't do the late, like no, thoda jaldi join kiya karo. Okay. Now, guys, see. Now this is like another very very important thing that we'll learn about, that is user input. User input. Now you might let's say wonder. Let's say everyone whatever website you will give, go. They'll ask you for the emails. They'll ask you for the names. There is one field, there is standing over there. There is a space, or you just click on it and then you save the names, right? So how exactly they're getting that? So now see, as a variable, what we are doing, we are saying, let's say name equal to something, let's say ABC, right? Then last name equal to something like this we are doing, right? Let's say something like, let's say, like this. And finally, what I'm doing now, print, let's say first name is, let's say, what is the first name? Name, placeholder, say name, and last name is, let's say, What's the last name we have? Comma, last name. Okay. So now let's suppose now I have done something like this. Okay. First name I have, last name. Now understand guys, let's say, why do we need to keep it static like this? Now let's suppose, okay, यहाँ पे तो मैंने दे दिया, it's fine. But what if now new user will come? Again, you will write a name. You will give another name. You will store like this. You will store like this. So that why can't we directly take a user input? So how exactly we take a basic input is, let's suppose now if I want to take a name. So name equal to, we just take input in bracket. Simply we just, okay, you don't even need to write anything. Like if you just write something like this, let's say you keep it blank, that is also fine. Okay. And let's suppose now if I, let's say, print name. See here guys, it is not asking you to write anything, right? So when you will write inside this, then it will ask. Let's suppose if I write, let's say so, press enter, we'll see a name is printed. At the same time, now let's suppose if you do something, let's say input in bracket, enter the first name. So you can write according to your own convenience, right? So see here now, enter the first name. Now I can say something like this. Okay, now this happened. Similarly, now let's take last name. Let's say name you take, let's say last name, we are taking same input first, let's say enter the last name and print first name and last name is this particular thing. Okay, now if I run it now, let's suppose enter the first name, let's say ABC, enter the last name again like ASD, you will see that the first name is this one and last name is this one. So means what? It is that easy to take the user input, right? Means in short, what guys? You explicitly don't need to worry about how to take the user inputs. It's very straightforward. Usually, many of the times, whenever you will be working in the production as a backend, okay, you will ask for the user inputs. Okay, because see, you are creating that particular thing for a particular user, right? So you cannot ask every single user and then you will store, okay, hey bro, tell me your name. You will store his name here. Hey bro, tell me your name. You will store his name. You will not do that. Okay, you will automatically ask him to store all these particular values. It will just give his own inputs. Okay, so that is how exactly this user input works. Now, at the same time, let's suppose my thought, okay, I want to take the integer input. Let's suppose I want to take age equal to, let's say, now see here what we do, int input in bracket, int input. Because now this is an integer input, right? Enter the age. Okay, and now let's suppose if I print age, okay, you will see that I'll suppose 12 is there. So 12 will print. PRINT, sorry. Okay, so you can see, let's suppose this is how exactly it's working. Okay, now you can just add a string over here. Let's suppose you can just add, okay, age of the given person is, just give a comma, sorry, give a comma outside and just write the age over here. Okay, it's a 12. So age of a given person is 12. Okay, so it is just like, it is as simple as that, right? I mean, you don't explicitly need to worry about, okay, how these things are working, how the input it is taking. It's very simple and straightforward. Right now, let's suppose now if we just take a simple analogy, let's suppose now what you can do is a simple example. See, along with the last exercise that I gave you, right? So that exercise already there is a lot of thing to think into that particular exercise. So in that I have also given few examples where you need to take the user input. Okay, I explicitly mention, okay, for now, if you don't know about user input, wait for it and then you can solve it. Okay, but whoever has not done it, it's fine. Because today is the, we covered this particular part. Now you need to go and check about it. Okay, now go check about it, how the user input is working, and then again try it. Okay, I think now you should be able to solve this particular thing. So now let's say a simple example, what you can try is here. Now let's suppose you can just a create a form for the students where you will ask the name, email, phone number for the registration. Okay, and understand, and once let's say once the regist is done, okay, print a good thank you message. A, right? So yeah, okay. So means what? See, you just need to do this particular thing, right? Now, this is a very simple example you need to create. You will be creating a simple form to answer different things. Next thing is, you will be now see here you will store the data. Now, what exactly I'm saying, you listen to it very carefully. Okay. Now, once you ask for the name, email, or let's say age registration is done, right? Now, once you will print this message, okay, thank you for registration, right? Then what you will do, let's say in the second task, okay, you will ask, what are you looking for? What are you looking for? Now, in this particular, what are you looking for? Now, you might just add options by yourself. Let's say, maybe you can just add four different options. Okay, either you are looking for Python or data science or machine learning, like this. Okay, and let's say if you want to add some more things into it, what you can do is, let's say try to add ask questions to it. Now, see, I hope you are understanding this, right? How will you create the questions now? Let's say you already have, you will store one single list over here, or let's say now we'll learn about the list, then you will understand in what way. So I think after that, this practice could be good. So what I would say, let's say be stick till here only. Okay, I think this is pretty good to start with. And okay, just a second. Yeah, sorry. Okay, so and once this is done, right, now just print this particular message that, okay, yeah, thank you for this registration. Okay, just take this. And guys, now as the time is going now, I'll just tell you about few websites that you need to register. Go there, register yourself, and once you register yourself, after that you will be, solving the certain amount of problems on a regular basis. Okay, till the time we don't, till the time we don't get a good command on Python, we'll be doing this, right? So, and this you never have to stop. 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, whatever we are here, 3 months, 4 months, whatever you are here, till that particular time, regularly we need to do this. So more and more Python you will involve yourself, your logic building will grow. Okay. And as I told you, you will have to create, I'll create the groups of you. So in the groups, there will be different problem statements you need to solve. That problem statements will be given onto the, on your dashboard itself, where you will see a section, special section where, you need to solve a certain amount of problems. Okay. So eventually what it is doing, it is just trying to build your portfolio in better way. Right. After that, that is not enough. That is not going to be the end. Once you do that particular thing, every single person needs to create a small video of, let's say, 10 to 15 minutes where you need to explain in details what exactly you did into that particular project. Okay. And then I'll tell you where to upload that and everything. So by that time, that upload thing will also be done. Okay. But as of now, whatever is required, you can completely see the videos onto the, platform. You can, see the live lectures that are coming onto the platform. Every single thing is already there. Few things are remaining that will be done, very soon in next 2 3 days. Okay. So that is the main idea. So therefore, now what I told you, you have understood about this particular input, how to take the input. But now with respect to input, now try to frame more and more questions. I'll also add more exercises into your curriculum now. I'll also provide you some exercises. But along with that, there are few websites, that I'll tell you. W3 Schools is there. I'll send you the names, everything. Okay. Register there. Start doing that. HackerRank is there. Register yourself. Start doing that. So after you solve a certain amount of problem, you get the certifications from there. Okay, you get the rankings from there. So that is just like a good boost for yourself. More than a boost, it just gives a good confidence. That's it. Nothing else. Okay. So I think we have taken, yes, a pretty good amount of things that we have done. Now, one simple assignment, what we'll do is, let's suppose now I want to take three inputs. Okay. And then join all of them. Join all of them. So I think you all can do this also, right? What you need to do, let's say item one. Item one equal to, let's say, input. Enter the first item. Okay. Then you can just have similarly item two. Okay. Like this, you can just create 5 items, right? And finally, what you can do is, items equals to, now see, you are combining all the items together. How you are doing that? In the list. Okay. Item one, item two, item three, item five, like this. And finally, your item line you are creating, and you are joining all these particular things by giving, and this comma like this over here. What do you call that? Colon. Let's suppose I put, let's say, 12. Okay. In the second item, let's say I put SSI. In the third, if I put, let's say, 45, then I put, let's say, true over here. You can put anything, right? So there is no limit to that. Like this you put. Okay. So you can see like this, all the things are stored over here. Okay. So guys, this is how exactly the input statements work. Means you are taking the, specifically you are taking the user input from a particular person, and then you are storing that particular input somewhere. Okay. So that is how exactly this thing works. Now I think, guys, enough of these things are done. Now we are good to go and start with our list. So, guys, any issues to anyone? All good till here? Pretty straightforward, right? I mean, only thing that we did was just to understand how things are working, and I think that's pretty straightforward to go with. Wonderful.
Your screen needs to shrink.
No, no, I'm not. So you can't see the screen?
Now I can
Now it's
visible.
visible.
Yeah, it's visible now.
Fine. Okay, now see, guys, before starting the list, right? So I'll tell you one simple thing about the list. List are the most used data type in the Python. Most. When I say most means what? There are certain things, there are few reasons to use it as a most. One of the best reasons is that they are very, very flexible. And second thing is that they are mutable in nature. As we have seen in the strings. What was the problem with the strings? Not problem, but what was the strings? Strings were specifically immutable in nature. So we have exactly shown you, right? When I say immutable, we have shown, right, how the ID is there. When we are trying to change that, how the ID is getting changed, right? But it is not having the same kind of values. Okay, so in very details we have seen. Immutable means what? Once the string is created, you cannot manipulate that. There is no way you can manipulate that. But this is not a case with the list. Very easily you can manipulate the list, you can add into list, you can append into list, you can delete into the list, you can change the items into list, you can access the items of the list, you can do multiple things with the list. And that's the reason, this data type is one of the most used data type in the whole production. Many places you will see, simple lists are created and we are appending all the values inside that. Lists are there, we are storing multiple values because, sometimes you need to change the values going ahead. So all these kind of things, you will see stored are inside the list only. Now, list has its own, I know, let's say when we talk about list, okay. So list can be through the, yeah, I told you, right? Through the most general version of sequence in Python. Like when I talk about sequence, most general thing into the sequence of Python. Unlike string, they are mutable, meaning elements inside can be changed. Lists are constructed with the brackets like this. Okay, guys, as I told you, if you're instead of this, you're if let's suppose if you're doing this, okay, your data type is directly changing to tuple. This data type is completely different with complete different set of rules. Okay, so it is not like, okay, chalo yaar, we are giving this thing, let's try to give it this also. No, it's not like that. If you are talking about the list, you have to pass this particular thing only. If you are passing this particular thing, you need to think about dictionaries only. If you are passing this thing, you need to think about strings only. Okay, so this is the symbol that we have seen, and comma separated elements inside the list. Okay, comma separated elements inside the list. Now, guys, see, I'll tell you a very, very interesting fact about Python, right? I mean, there is a reason, there is a reason why Python can store multiple different data types inside the one single, let's say, one single, let's say, any kind of data type. Unlike any other development, let's say you talk about any other programming language, right? Let's suppose now if you're creating a list, okay, L1, then you specifically need to mention, okay, yeah, this particular list will contain what kind of elements. Then, okay, integer elements, and then you can, let's say pass integer elements over here. Okay, let's say let's say said, okay, string elements, then specifically you need to pass the string elements and then you go here. Inside this, if you pass the, let's say, one single element of the any other data type, let's say you passed Boolean value, or let's say you pass the numeric value or float value, it will throw an error. Okay, because the problem is, or let's say not a problem, but because the thing is, they have the specific memory blocks that are stored over there. Inside that particular block only will have every single thing stored. But that is not a case in Python. Let me just show you, right? Very, very interesting. Let's suppose now this is my list. Okay. Let's say, sorry. Now see, again, this is my list. Okay. Now if I print the list, okay, you will see 1, 2, 3, 4 is there. Now if I just let's say, paste, let's say, or let's say print, let's say my list. Let's say ID of, let's say ID of my list. Let's say zeroth element. See here now, see guys, understand. ID is, sorry, ID is this one. Now if I check the same thing, I'm expecting, let's see what it's coming. See here, guys, different ID. You understand that? Means what? Now see, now if I print the ID of this list one, now see here. Now if I print, let's say ID of what we created, my list, right? Now see here, guys, it is stored at completely different block. Means what, guys? How things are working over here? See, one particular, let's suppose now here, okay, let's say you have one certain thing. Let's suppose now here your whole list is stored into this particular block. Inside that particular block, every single element has a different value. Means every single element has a different what we can say IDs to store at every single place. Let's say if you store one over here, it has a different ID. If you store, let's say, boolean, different ID. Every single thing has a different ID. And guys, that is a reason, very tactical technical question, can be asked in the interviews. Okay, that is a reason, why Python has the ability to store the multiple data types into the one single data type. Okay, many of them will not tell you, so listen it carefully. That's the reason. Now at the same time, when you talk about any different, let's say data type, okay, or let's say, sorry, language, once you specify, okay, yeah, this particular thing has to be stored, let's say integer only. So inside this particular block, they will have, there's only one single memory only. There are like not multiple blocks like this. In this particular whole string, it is stored into that particular memory location only. So therefore, now understand, when in this particular memory location, when you have said, okay, I need to store only integer values, okay, then you cannot have the option to store any different values apart from this integer values. Okay, but at the same time in Python, what's happening? Very easily you can store the multiple values over here. And that is the reason Python has this ability where we can store multiple data types in together. Okay, so I hope it makes sense. So if you just check the type of it, you will see the list are there. Now we just created a list of integer, but list can actually hold the objects, different object types. Okay, so we have a string, then we have a numbers, then we have the float values, then we have the boolean values. Every single thing is there, right? We'll see that perfectly it will work without any kind of problem. Right now, guys, let me explain you one more thing. So see here, in the last session, what happened, guys? Let's suppose we did something like this, right? So how many of you remember in the last session in the strings, what happened when we tried to change any kind of elements inside a list? It was not able to change. We were not able to change it. Means what? Let's suppose, let's say we had this particular part, right? Let's say we had str1, and we did say hello my name. Okay, and let's suppose now if I do id of, let's say, str1, right? So what is coming? This is the id. Now let's suppose if I do, let's say, str of zeroth, sorry, str1 का zeroth element, let's say, equal to a, right? I did like this. And now let's suppose if I do print str1, so you can see that it does not support the item assignment. This is the error that we got, right? So now see here, means what? It was not able, we were not able to manipulate the strings at all. It was not possible in this particular case. But guys, this is not a case over here. Very easily you can manipulate the things. Now let's suppose, hmm, now see here, guys. Now you have the list over here. Okay. Now, okay, yeah, one more thing, guys. Now we have seen that, let's say whenever we try to apply any kind of methods over here, right? We have applied the methods into the strings, right? How many of you know how many methods we applied in the strings? Did you all read about it? We applied some kind of methods, right? Then we tried to change certain value. Then we again reassign the value of that particular thing to new, let's say, variable. ठीक है, हमने नया वेरिएबल बनाया. Then we got a different value, but दोनों का ID was different. Both of them had a completely different ID, right? And then we proved that it is not possible to change the original string that we have. That is what exactly it was. So what are the different things that we actually did, guys? What are the different functions or methods that we carry with the this one string? Anyone? Come on, guys.
Indexing, slicing.
Indexing, slicing, fine. But along with that, we also did few things, right? How do you change something thing, and how to sorry,
String formatting.
Yeah, string formatting is fine. But let's say we created a string, right? And from that particular string, we try to change some value. So that particular value was assigned to a new variable. Okay, we created a new variable over there. And then when we again checked the position of that, the actual string was not changed, but the new string was created on in place of that. So what kind of function was that? I think Srinivas, you might know, right? I think you are the one who asked that question. No? Now see here. Okay, see here. It's fine. Replace method we did, guys. Everyone understood?
Yes.
So I don't expect you to remember it. It's fine. We are new till, but just have a touch. Because see, one thing I'll tell you guys, these things are no bit confusing. More than confusing, I'll tell you. Days, 2 days you don't read about it. Third day you will forget every single thing. And today you might literally understand every single thing about it. Okay, literally today you will understand every single part. As soon as you are done 2 days, if you don't look at it, you will forget everything. Even as a data scientist, even as working for so many years, in a month or so, we try to go through every single topic that is available, right? Because what happens, in the industries, it's not like every day you will be working with the same kind of stuff, or it even happens, let's say now, it's been now more than a year that I have not even worked on a machine learning problem. Before that, we used to work. Okay, because see, as the use case will come, we have to change, but we have to be in touch. Okay, what things are going on, what things are happening. So revising is very, very important, right? Now let's suppose we did like this. Let's suppose now we have string one, and let's suppose now if I do, let's say, new name, it's a new string, and what I'm doing is, let's suppose now I'm doing str1 dot replace. Okay, replace we are doing, and what we are replacing now, guys, let's suppose now I'm trying to replace, let's say, first h is there. Let's say I'm trying to replace that with, let's say, something like, let's say, p, something like this. Okay, and let's say new string is there. Now understand here. See, you can see below my name. Okay, fine. Okay, now see here, guys. Now if I print the ID of this one now, ID of str, it's a new string. See here, guys, both are completely different. Means what? We did not change the original stuff. Okay, completely different things are happening. Now, when we say that lists are mutable, so very easily you can do something like this. My list, let's say I want to change the first element, or let's say second element, means what? First index value. And let's suppose now I want to give it to, let's say, instead of 23, I want to give it, let's say, 67. Okay, and now see here, guys, now if I print the ID of this, let's say print ID of my list. Okay, and print my list. Let's suppose if I do this one. Okay, see here, this is the ID and this is the string, right? And now if I do this particular change, okay, and now you will again copy this particular part. Now see, this function is now running properly. Now see here, guys, see, exact same ID, but now the values are changed. See here, 23 was there. Now here we have got 67. Okay, so I hope now this confusion is completely clear. So when I say that mutability means what? You are changing the original list itself. आपने क्या किया? What you did? You changed the original list that you had. Okay. At the same time, now when you talk about the strings, we were able to replace it, but we did not change the original string. You will see original string ID is fixed. It will not change. Even if you, let's say, do str only. If you say, okay, I want to assign this value again to str1 only, still the values will be different. Still, you will see that, these values will always be different. See, this is different, and see, this is different. Okay. So doesn't matter that, okay, if you just give the same name to over here and I will replace, no, doesn't matter. Once you say that it is immutable, means it is immutable. You cannot change that. But at the same time, now you were clearly able to see it. Let's say you have a list, right? And you just change, okay, first index 23 to 67. But you will see that when you are printing the IDs, you will see that both the IDs are exactly same. Means inside that particular list, we are going and changing that particular item. That is possible. Item assignment is possible over here. We can easily manipulate the change, let's say a list over here. Okay, so I hope this difference is pretty clear to everyone, and let's straightforward. Okay, second thing, now let's start with indexing, guys. Now again, indexing works exactly same like strings. As I told you, guys, indexing will not change throughout the whole Python. You talk about list, you talk about integers, you talk about, sorry, tuples, you talk about strings. Every single place, indexing is exactly same. What I told you, this is okay. Let's suppose now this is our function. Okay, let's suppose if I print loss function ka zeroth item, what will come? Mean absolute error. If I print, let's say, first item, what will come? mean squared error, right? At the same time, now we can create the length function, that is also there. Total length is 5. Okay, very easy. Now, similarly, indexing and slicing is exactly same. Let's suppose now if I try to do, let's say 1, 2, let's say 2, or let's say 5, we'll see first index is what? 0 and first index. So first index is included, right? What I told you, first index is included, and whatever is the last index, that is not included. So what is there? Fifth index is there. So how many we have? Zeroth index, first index, second index, third index, and fourth index. So we are not going till this only. Let's suppose if I do now fourth, we'll see that we'll only have mean squared error. That is the first index that is added. First index by, sorry, zeroth index is absolute error, but we are starting from first. So first is what? Mean squared error. So that is first. What is the second number index? Hoover loss. We can see second number index is also coming over here. And what is the third number index? Log loss. So log loss is also coming here. As we, what I told you guys, the last one is there. So last one is not included inside this. Last one is not included over here, right? Last one is not included over here. See, this is not included. No, sorry, not this one, fourth one. So what is the fourth index over here? Let's suppose 1, 2, 3, and fourth. Fourth index is now not added over here. Okay, only till the third will take. Now, similarly, let's suppose if we take a till third only, what will happen now? We will get only zero, sorry, first and second. So what is first index now? Mean absolute error is zeroth index. Mean squared error is first index, and Hoover loss is second index. So first index and second index, only these two will take. Third index is not included. As you see, it is not included. Okay, so indexing and slicing is exactly same. Now let's move on to the slicing. Eventually we'll go there. Let's suppose first I'm printing. Okay, now similarly third also we are printing. Now see guys, if you print the sixth one, what will happen? List index out of range, because we have seen that mean absolute error is zeroth index, squared error is first index, Hoover loss is third index, log loss is fourth, and hinge loss is fifth. We hardly have the 5 indexes, right? So when you try to print the sixth one, it will throw an error because we don't have that, right? So that is how exactly we do it. Similarly, negative indexing works exactly same. Give -1, it will start from here, -1. Hinge loss first. -2, log loss. -3, Hoover loss. -4, mean squared loss. Like this from previous, from the back, right? Starting may start from 0. While coming back, it will start from -1. That is called as negative indexing. Okay, so that won't change anywhere. Now, similarly, now when you talk about this slicing, right? So in the slicing, what's happening? We have, let's suppose now if I take 1 to 4, functions are there 1 to 4. So what will happen? As I told you, right? Mean squared, Hoover loss, and log loss. Okay. Again, another thing, if you let's say don't specify the ending index, let's suppose if you are not specifying anything at the end, so everything from the second index. So what is the second index, guys? Now let's say first index is this one, sorry, zeroth index is this one, first index is this one, and second index is Hoover loss. So from Hoover loss till the hinge loss, every single thing will be printed over here. See here. Okay. Similarly, if you don't specify the starting index and let's say you only specify the ending index, let's say you want to end at fourth index. So what is the fourth index? 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's say you want to go till here, but this one will not be included because this like a last index is not included. So before this, whatever is there, every single thing will be printed over here. See here, every single thing will be printed over. Okay, guys. So this is how exactly we try to add the functions in the simple terms. In बहुत simple terms, indexing and slicing works in this particular manner. Similarly, now grab everything. Logs functions are there. Grab everything. Give just a simple colon. Means what we are saying, there is no limit. Start here also and end also. You can go till whatever length it has. So it will print every single thing. Okay. So I hope you understood this. So guys, now everyone understood. Let's say if I'm trying to print from -4 to 0, means what? See here. -1, -2, -3, and -4. Means what? I'm telling, okay, I want to start from here. Okay. And till where I need to go? I need to go till end. So what is end? Till here. So mean squared error, Hoover loss, log loss, and hinge loss. Okay. So this is how exactly the indexing actually works in Python from the start and from the end. This is how exactly indexing actually works. Okay. Fine. Guys, everyone is clear till here? All perfect? Uh, Right. Now let's move forward. Where is my screen here? I can't see anything. Yeah, is my screen visible, guys?
No, it's not.
Can you see this?
Now it's there.
Oh, no. Okay, so now guys, I think we have covered simple basic parts of it. Now let's move forward and understand what are the different operations that list actually contains. Okay, so list have multiple operations that it performs. As I told you, it has, it is like mutable in nature. So because of that mutability nature, no, it has literally wide range of functions that it supports. Okay, so we'll go one by one, understand what that particular function will do. And guys, understand these functions are very extensively used in the production level, or let's say good level coding. Okay, especially this append method, extend methods, all these particular methods are there, which are very extensively used, right? You will be using them very frequently. Now let's suppose, let's try to add first thing, that is we can also concatenate the two different lists, or let's say like this. Now let's suppose if I do something like this, let's say print. And what I did now, I have loss functions over here. And what I'm trying to add is, let's say inside the loss function, I want to add this, pullback labeler. This thing I want to add. So see here, guys. At the end, you will see that when I do plus, at the end of the time, this particular thing is also added for this particular function. See here, it was only till here. Now this is also added. But guys, one more thing, understand. Even if you just add this particular thing, it will not change the original list. Okay, it will not change the original list. Now see here. See here, original list will always contain this only. Now, if you want to change the original list, what you need to do? You again need to take this particular value. Where is that? Loss function. Okay. Then again, you need to assign like this. Loss function here equal to loss function plus this particular thing. And now if you print the loss function, now the original list will be changed. Now the original thing list will be changed. Okay. You need to reassign that particular value to the same value. I hope you understood this. Now, similarly, you can also double the list, like, a loss function into 636. You can just print this 36 times. That's like simple thing, it's fine. Now I see everyone, we have already seen and talked about length function. Right? So what length will do? Length will just try to calculate the length of any function that is given. Now let's suppose if I calculate length of this one, we'll see that it's 6. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Counting will always start with 1 only. Indexing will start with 0. Don't confuse yourself with the counting and indexing. Okay, there are two different things. So we got the length to be this one. Similarly, now we have minimum value. So very easily you can find, let's suppose now I have my list. And from there, let's say I want to find the minimum value. You can see minimum you can find. You can find the maximum also you can find. Okay. Similarly, max also you can find. Okay. So these all things are alphabetically their order. S is सबसे last, so therefore shape will come. So guys, these are few min, max, simple function that it has. Now next type of function that comes under our, let's say, sum function. Means what? Very easily you can add all the elements which are present inside the this particular list. If I run it, see here, guys, 24/5. Okay. Now guys, here comes another very interesting function called as sorted function. Now what this particular sorted function does? So see here, guys, it will just try to sort the particular list that is being given to you. Now let's say I have a new list. Okay, let's say these are the numbers. And if I just print, let's say, a sorted list, you'll see that all these particular lists are sorted over here. Right? If you again print the new list now, but see guys, the original thing is not changing. What I told you, if you want to change the original one, you need to reassign it. Right? You again need to reassign this particular value to this one. Then only changes will be reflected into the original list. Okay. Apart from that, you can't see any kind of changes inside the original list. Okay. Similar goes here also. Right? You can sort it. Now, inside this particular thing, reverse equal to true is another function. Means what? Let's suppose if I add, let's say, print new list, sorted list, and if I add, let's say, reverse equal to true. Means what? Okay, now reverse all the values. See, reverse is coming like this. Okay, this is how exactly you do it. Let's suppose now you understood, right? Means what? Highest number will come the first. Okay, new list is there. Okay, I have run this new list now like this, therefore now see here. What I'll do is, let's say my list or go, let's suppose. And now let's suppose now if I pass sorted of, let's say, my list. Okay, you'll see that all this sorted, sorted. At the same time, if I do, let's say, reverse equals to true, means what will happen is everything will be reversed like this, 7 6 5 4 2 1 like this. Okay, that's straightforward and simple. Now, yeah. Now, see, these are the few things that just now we discussed about. Now, what we'll do, let's try to discuss some of the methods that list actually provides you with. Okay, so now see here, guys. I have written it very clearly. Let's say if you're familiar with another programming language, you might start to draw the parallel between arrays in another language and list in this particular language. Guys, arrays in any other language or list in this particular language are almost same. Okay, but in Python, as I told you, right, they are very, very, very flexible as compared to any other arrays, right? So as what I told you, in the every single arrays, you specifically need to mention what kind of data type you want to store, what kind of data you want to store, right? That is not a case over here. Very easily and very explicitly, you can easily just take this particular data, right? And you can just add the different functions to it. Okay, so and you can create the multiple type of data types inside the one single data type. So list can store multiple things, right? So that is how exactly this particular thing works. So when I talk about, let's say, if I have any other programming language, the arrays that you see there and the list that you see here are the same things. Okay. Now they have fixed size. Let's say while we don't have to specifically have how a big list can be. So they have like no fixed type of constraint. So therefore we have seen this above. Now let's try to create this particular new list. Okay. Now guys, let's start by one and understand what are the different functions that we actually have. Okay. Now see, the first one is about append. Now let's talk about append. Okay. And we'll take some real world analogy of that append. And then what we'll do, we'll try to solve some kind of real world problem, related to it. So whatever we have learned till now, with respect to that, we'll just try to solve some kind of problem with respect to append, right? Now, see here, guys. Uh, Very, very simple example I'll tell you, right? Whatever append method that does, right? So append is like one of the most, as I told you, right? It is one of the most used method that you will use in this particular thing. Okay. Now imagine, let's suppose now, you are just trying to fill the data, right? Let's suppose now what you're saying, as the new user is registered, automatically add him to the list. As the new register is registering, automatically add him to the list. So append method, what will do, as soon as the new entry is coming, append method will try to add that particular entry at the end of that particular list. Let's suppose now you have this particular list, and let's say I want to append 10 over here. So automatically at the if I do, let's say, my list dot append in bracket 10, automatically 8 के आगे you will see the 10 over there. We'll see the 10 over here. Okay. So it's in Python, what is that? It is a method, okay, which specifically used in the list, which will add the elements at the end of this particular list. Okay. So it will modify the original list, right? What I told you, as I told you, right? They're mutable in nature. It will modify the original list. Whatever original list you have, let's say currently you have like this. If I modify and add the 10, now new list will be 10 only. Okay, so it is just like every time you pick something, you are just trying to add that into the basket. Okay, pick an item, add to basket, item, basket, item, basket. So one by one, you are just adding all these particular things. Okay, now let's suppose what I did was, let's say, I'll tell you a very simple analogy about it. Let's suppose now, for now, just understand what I did. I have my list over here. And what I did, my list dot append. Let's say I'll get simple one first. Let's say my list dot append. And let's say I'll add, let's say, 23. Okay, and now let's suppose if I print the my list now. See here, guys, 23 is added in there. Okay. Similarly, let's suppose I want to add this one also over here. And if I append it, see here, append me is also coming. 23 ke baad, you will also append me over here. Okay. Now, if you check the length of it, it's 11, it's 12 now. Okay. So, means what, guys? Calling this particular append function actually changes the particular method that you have. Okay. So, method changes your original list. Whatever this original list is there, it will change that particular thing. Now, guys, see, in real world analogy, what happens, let's say initially, you have no idea what kind of things you need to store in that particular list. Okay, so what we do, let's say we try to add, let's suppose empty list first. Means what? Let's say I'll add a, let's say basket equal to empty list, because as of now I have no idea what I have to add in this thing. And then eventually one by one they started telling me, okay, first add a banana, then add apples, then add bread, something like this. So what I'll do, basket dot append, let's say apple over it. Exactly, apple. Then let's suppose now if I show you here, I'll just, sorry. Okay, now let's suppose if I first of all I'll only add apple. If I print it, and let's say now if I print and basket, see, as of now what basket was there? Basket was empty, right? As soon as I'll do this, you'll see apple is added over here. As soon as now I'll add, let's say the next part, you will see now the second banana is added over here. As soon as I'll add, let's say third also, now the third thing will be also added. Okay, so this is how exactly this real life analogy of this particular append actually works. Okay, now let's suppose now I'll give a very simple thing, right? Now see here. Now in this particular problem statement, we'll be solving two different problems. Let's say you are at a party. Okay, let's say you are arranging a certain party, somewhere, and what you need to do is, you need to build a guest list, right? Let me see. Okay, you need to build a guest list, right, for the house party. Now, after this, what we'll do, let's say once you understand about if else statements, at that time, we'll try to add this statement in more better way. Means what? You will have the guest list, then you will check if that particular guest list has the invitation, then only he can come to the party, else he can't come. So that will add a further thing. So as of now, what we need to do, simply we need to create a, let's say, create a party, right? So what you'll be doing, first of all, you'll be asking the names, right? And you'll keep on, adding the names and appending the names. Okay. So for that particular part, what we'll do, let's suppose now, see, let's say I will add, let's say name one, yeah, name, someone, say input, enter the guest name, enter the, let's say, enter the, let's say, guest name first, like this will add, okay. Similarly, second, okay, that's fine. Or let's try the third. Let's say we are, adding three only maximum. Third. Okay, let's say now what I'll do, I have taken these three names. Okay, now see, I don't want this. Now see what I'm doing now. If I run it, let's say input. Okay. Hmm. Therefore, I never trust this auto codes. Okay, they'll always give you some nonsense errors. Okay, see here now. Guest name one is there. Say let's suppose you add A, then you add, let's say, B, and you add C. What happened, guys? Nothing happened. You just entered the name, right? But what I told you to add the name and store it somewhere, right? Where you are storing it? You are not storing it, right? So for this particular part, this is where, the append thing comes into play. So now what I'll do, first of all, see, as of now, I don't have any list. Means what? As of now, my notebook is blank. So when someone will tell me, that time only I'll write the name. Next person will come, he'll tell me, then I'll write the name. Okay. So for that, what I need to have first, I need to have pen and notebook at place. So this notebook here is called as list. Okay, so list here is notebook. Let's say, sorry. Okay, so list here is a notebook. So what I'll do, let's suppose now I'll add something like guest list equals to guest list. And initially, abhi kya hai? This is the empty notebook, right? Initially, this is completely empty, right? So now what I'm saying is, okay, let's say as soon as you get to know the name of the first person, you directly append that particular thing. Guest list dot append the name one. Guest list dot append the name. Everyone makes sense now? Now let's suppose, first of all, let's try to run it. Let's suppose now I'll say A, enter. Now it is running fine. Now if I, let's say, print here, I'll also print. No, we did not print the value, right? So print guest list. Now see here, guys, I'll show you two different places. Now see here. If I now print the guest list here, print, let's say initial guest list. Okay, and I'll print the guest list here. Guest list. Okay, and let's suppose here I'll print guest list after adding the names. Okay, now see guys. So here guys, initial guest list क्या आया? As soon as we initialize it, it's completely empty. Right? As of now, it's nothing. We don't have anything. If I add, let's say A here now. Let's suppose now if I add a name, it's A over here. See here guys. Now the guest list after adding the name is A. Okay, means what it is doing now? Every time we are taking the input, we are trying to append that particular thing inside this particular list. And this particular operation you will be doing so many different times. Okay, regularly we'll be doing this kind of operations. Now, second thing, let's suppose now take the second input, right? Sorry. Now let's ask, okay, guest list dot append and say name to, right? Got it? Similarly, let's have to take this one also and guest list dot append the name to. Okay, and we'll add the print. Let's suppose now you'll add it. Let's say we'll add these names only. Let's say, uh, sure. Okay, okay. See guys, guest list after adding. See, initial guest list are empty, and after adding it, now you can see this is how the guest list is actually looking like. Okay, but now let's say I this is what this was not my intention. At the end, let's suppose now after creating, I want to write a proper message. Hello everyone, welcome to the party. You have to take the names of each one of them and you have to say, okay, hello everyone. Let's say hello, this, welcome to the party. Now, guys, can anyone tell me how exactly we can do this now? Simple logic, right? What I told you, I want to add this particular thing. So as of now, what is the result that I have got? The result is list, right? But I need to give the proper string format and I need to give this particular result out of it. So what kind of things I'll add now? What I'll do? Anyone?
Indexing we can use and
No. I have asked you to add this simple sentence. हमें क्या करना है? Now things are done. You have already got this particular thing. Now I only need to print it. So how will I print, guys?
Use F string.
Exactly, right? Use F string. As simple as that. सुंदर मैसेज लिखना है, you want to write it a beautiful message, use F string. If you don't want to write, keep it as it is. Now see, F string, along with that, what we'll do? Along with F string, what we'll do? Think about it. What I told you, this is simply a list, right? This is like a list you have.
Can we pass in the guest list
Yes.
first?
Okay, what you said?
Initial guest list, whatever we have. Can we pass that sentence in that?
Where?
In the initial guest list, like a guest list equals to empty square bracket we have now. So we can pass there first that welcome to the hello everyone, welcome to the party. And then we can appending everyone names.
Okay, that is perfect. That also you can do. Let's say you can simply write, okay, you can write something like this. Let's say you are starting, guest list here. Okay, print the guest list. You are starting here. You can see initial guest list. You can see here. What I can do is, let's say, I add a print statement.
Yeah.
That is fine. I understood what you are saying. That is fine.
That is the basic one we can try.
No, no. Yeah. So see, you are asking to print it here, right? Let's say you will add print something over. Let's say welcome to the party, right? Right. And that is definitely that will happen. Okay. Let's say A, B, C here. Initial guest list is empty. Welcome to the party A, B, and C. That is fine. Guest list after adding names, that is fine. What I'm saying is, if I want to add something like welcome to the party, you have written over here, that is fine. But now instead of this, now I want to add over here. Okay. Hello, all of the you three. Thank you so much for coming to the party. Okay. Thank you so much, ABC, for coming to the party. So for that, what we'll do? Now we have the list, right? So guys, what is the first function that we learned today? Yes, that's what we saw today. That's the first thing. Everyone can click it now. How exactly we'll use the joins here? Because see, we want to add a proper message to them, right? So for that, what we need to do? We need to use the join function over here, right? So along with that particular thing, when we use the join function at that particular time, it will give the more proper results. Now, how exactly what I'm saying? How will you do it now? Where is that? Yeah. Yeah. So how exactly we'll do it here? Let's say instead of printing this one, what we'll do, let's say print. We can just add, let's say, welcome to the party. Okay. And finally, what I'll do now? I'll simply add all of them. Let's say welcome to the party here. And now see, I'll do it by comma separated thing. Dot join the guest list. That's it, guys. Okay. Now we'll see. Let's suppose now you have Sam, Jam. See, welcome to the party, Sam, Ma'am, Jam. Okay. So you understood now what exactly we did. So that is what, see, this is what I was expecting. Let's say I was just thinking, okay, whether you can recall this or not. Because see, what I told you initially, what was the case now? If I now simply print, okay, let's say if I print the guest list over here, okay, guest list. Let's say now we can write, let's say, this is the final guest list. Okay, that is fine. Now is the final guest list you have. See here, let's say Sam, Jam. See here, final guest list is fine, but it is now a string list, right? But what I told you now, I want to write it in, let's say, a proper sentence or let's say string format. So then how to convert any kind of list into a string? What I told you, simply use the join function, right? Try to join everything together and you will get the result like this. So welcome to the party, Sam, Jam. Okay. So guys, everyone is clear over here? How exactly with the help of user inputs, then list and appending, we were able to build a very, very small thing. Okay. So everyone is on track. First of all, guys, if there is any kind of issues, feel free to ask. Okay. Don't hesitate. Yeah, you can do that. No, let's say if you don't want to add this one, just give the space A, B, and it's a C. Three names are there. See, welcome to the party ABC. As simple as that. Okay, but it looks good, right? Let's say after a name, if you're giving a comma, that looks good, right? Let's say, therefore, like this. Okay, welcome to the party. Sam was good. Example. Okay, so first of all, everyone understood this. Now, see, you can also do in a simpler way. Means what? Let's suppose now you have got this guest list. Okay, let me first of all print this guest list for you. Let's say now this is a guest list we have. Okay, ये आपकी guest list तो आ गई आपके पास. That's fine. Okay, now once you got this guest list, right? Let's say I'll print it. What happened? Oh, sorry. Okay, let's see. This is the guest list that I have, right? But here I can clearly see that this guest list is into a string format. So now what I can do is, let's suppose now sentence equal to, or let's say names equals to, we can send, okay, names equals to, what I can write, guest list, let's say this one, comma, dot join. And I can join, let's say what I can join the guest list over here, right? And if I now print the, let's say names, okay, and now if I print, let's say names over here, see here guys, exactly the same answer we got, right? So instead of creating two different lines of code here, what we did in one single line only, we added a join function also over here. Means see what we did now what we did, instead of writing this over here, we have written that this over here, and then we have stored that into the names function. Now if you pass this particular thing over here just as a names, pass a names over here, now it will work exactly fine. Names, okay, now it will work exactly fine. Okay, now as of, okay, this got wrong, wait. Okay, let's say A, B, now it won't work. Okay, yeah, see, because now see the names are already given Sam Jam like this, right? So therefore now see names can there, what are the things stored? What are the things stored inside the names? Sam Jam, and that was the thing, right? So therefore now you will get the same answer over here. Okay, even if the guest list is different, right? Just because now we have stored the values over here. Now let's suppose now instead of this one, let's say if you add this particular thing over here, let's say after this one, let's say after this, if you add it over here only. Okay, and now if you pass the names, now we will get the perfect results. Means what? Let's suppose if I add A, B, and C, see here guys, now the ABC will come. But what happened was here, what we did, the names are already stored into this previous names, right? So therefore we got this. Okay, so guys, how many of you understood this whole thing that we did here? Perfectly understood, nothing understood, trying to understood, like what is the scenario? Let me, because see, there is no way to, just hide it or move it more faster. What about other guys? See, if you're not understanding, if you don't want to ask it here, it's fine. But I would suggest, as I told you, try to keep it more interactive. Nahi samajh mein aa raha, you can just ask it. If not, you can just connect me again and you can ask. Okay. But bit straightforward, right? Nothing very fancy we are doing. Simply it is just like appending. We are taking the user input, we are appending the values. That's it. Taking the user input, appending the values. Taking the user input, appending the values. That's it. Okay. So this is how exactly we will deal with the append function. So I hope now this is making sense and it's all clear to everyone. Now see guys, while appending, you can actually append the multiple things also. Let's say now if appending my list, what I did now, inside this my list, I want to append one more list over here. Let's say I already have a my list like this. This is my list. Okay. Now inside this, what I did now, I appended one more list inside this. Means list ke andar we appended one more list, 1, 2, 3. See here, you can see this. Now inside this, let's say I will append one more thing. Okay. Now see here, if I now print, let's say my list. See here guys. Okay. Now see, it is coming one by one, right? Now see again, why exactly it is coming one by one, guys? Because whenever you are printing every single value, that is going into one after another. Means that's like how it is being printed. Okay. So therefore, you can see this like this value over here. Okay. But you can see after this particular part, see all this whole list is added over here. Can you see this? See this list is added over here. Okay. So we ran it 2 times, right? If you run it one more time, no, one more time it will be added 3 times. We ran it 2 times, therefore it came 2 times. Okay. So one simple question to everyone. I hope, see guys, I hope you all are understanding. We are going in pretty simpler way, right? Nothing to worry much about it. I hope you are understanding every single part that we're discussing. And we are going very, very slow. Okay. It's just like we are just discussing one function for so long, right? And I think that there won't be an issue to solve this. Now, next function that it has is extend function. Okay. At the start only what I told you guys, you don't need to by heart anything. You don't have to by heart anything. Automatically things will flow. Okay. No need to by heart anything. Right. Means let's suppose now understanding what I told you, understanding. Let's say someone will ask you, okay, see, whoever the new user is coming into our website, you need to add that particular user at the end of the current list that is there. You understood that? So how exactly we will write that in a sentence? Okay. Let's say how to add the element in Python at the end of the list. Means see, you should have how to, you should know how to write the simple English. That's it. So therefore, what I told you guys, when you see one thing, always understand when you are able to frame the question, no, when you are able to frame the question, means you already got the 70% of the answer. Okay. When you can frame the question, means you already got the answer. The only simple things are remaining that you can always deal with. So simply do this. See here, guys. I searched it very perfectly. I directly got the element over here. Let's say append the element. Okay, directly I got it. Now let's talk about the second function. What is there now? Let's say we talk about extend now. So see, what exactly extend is doing? Extend method is to merge a list into an existing list. Means existing method will take the list, and as an argument, and it will just try to add that one more list inside it. Means what? Let's suppose now I have my list over here. So then, okay. And what I need to do is, I need to extend this particular list over here. I'm extending this particular thing list over here. Let's suppose now, see here guys, extending is done over here. Right? Extending is done over here. Now, see guys, extend what is doing now, it is also adding at the end only. Then you might ask, okay, what is the difference between append and extend? Very simple question, right? Because appending also adding at the end only. Now, extend we added here, that is also adding at the end only. Then what's the main difference? Now understand here. See, when I talk about the extend method, okay, so extend is, see, now I'll just add one sentence here. Here I can add now. Yeah, see, okay, fine. So just I'll add it here. See here. I'll tell you a simple analogy, okay? See here. Now let's say I'll add a few codes here. Now understand, let's suppose now I have, let's say, example, let's say, okay, example, anything. Okay, let's say self equal to, let's say I have book one and let's say I have book two. Okay, let's say I have these two things. Now if I do, let's say self dot append, okay, and inside the append, let's suppose if I do, let's say notebook, note, let's say I'll do a notebook over here. Okay, now what I'll do, let's suppose if I now print, okay, let's say print shelf. Okay, see here guys, we will got a notebook at the end. Okay, but now understand, extend that you there now, extend adds the multiple items, but they see here, but it will spread them across. Now see here, now if I do one more thing here, let's say shelf, let's say shelf dot append. Let's suppose now if I append this one, let's say I'll append 1, 2, and 3, like this I'll append. Okay, now if I run it, okay, and now if I, let's say again print the shelf, look very carefully, okay. Now see here, what happened guys? This 1, 2, 3 is added as a one single list. Matlab it is added as a one single element over here. Now at the same time, let's suppose now if I print this one, let's say I'll do shelf dot extend, and inside that, let's suppose now I will again pass a list only. Let's say I'll pass again 7, 8, and 9, like this I'll pass. Okay, and let's say if I now print shelf, see here guys, what happened? 7, 8, and 9 are added as a separate items individually. Okay, they're added as a separate items individually. Append में क्या कर रहा था? What exactly append was doing? Append was trying to add every single thing as a one single element. See here, one element is added at this 1, 2, 3, like this. But what exactly extend is doing? Extend is trying to extend whatever elements are present over here, but it will not pass as one single list. Every single element is added as a separate entity over here. Okay, means what? Every single element is added as separately and not as a one block. Got my point? So many places you will see that let's say whenever you need to add items in this particular way, we just try to use the methods as required. Okay, the way it is required, we just try to add it. So now, sorry, see, whenever we want to merge the two lists, understand here, whenever we want to merge the two different lists, at that time use the extend. Use the extend. Okay, because see, if you try to append a list inside one, let's suppose you have L1. Okay, let's say 1, 2, and 3. Okay, you have L2. Okay, let's say 3, 4, and 5, something like this. Okay, not sure whether, let's suppose if I do, let's say C equal to L1, where is that? L1 dot append L2. Okay, and let's say print the C. What happened? See, none value came. Now see guys, there is another logic to it. Okay, see, none value came because we are trying to give the unnecessary. Okay, now see, now this is like a pretty good concept. Let me just explain this in more better way, right? Whenever we try to add the append method, okay, we never try to assign anything to an append method. We never assign anything on append method. If I, let's say, do something like this, and if I now print, let's say, if I do like this, now that is fine. That is fine. That is now working fine. But now let's say if I now try to print L1, okay, see here, now I got this particular list assignment. But when you try to assign that particular thing, right? Let's say what you exactly tried to did was you tried to sorry. Where is that? Sorry. Where is my phone? Yeah. So see, when you try to let's say assign a variable to, let's say, L1 dot append L2, then you are getting a none value. Right? Means what? You are trying to store that value inside a C. So C equal to L1 dot append L2 and print C. So when you're doing a print C, you are getting none value. Means what, guys? The item assignment is getting unnecessarily called here. Now let me explain in very, very simple terms here. Now understand here. See, now I have, let's say, L1 over here that I took. Okay, I took L2 over here. Okay, now see what exactly is happening is append method does not return anything. मतलब क्या? Understand here. Not every single method will return something. There are, let's say for print is there. If I do print like this, let's say print A. So now it is returning something. Let's say if I now print A, it is returning something. It is returning a value. Print function is returning the value. But append method, whatever append method is there, append method does not return any value. Okay, it only modifies the value that you have. Okay, so means what? In simple terms, what's happening now? When you are writing C equal to, let's suppose now, when you are writing C equal to, let's say this L1 dot L2 append, L1 dot L2 append, okay, L2 append. When you're trying to write this append method, so means what exactly you're doing? You are trying to return the value of this particular C. And what is the value of, return is stored? What is the value exactly stored into this particular thing? This L1 dot L2 value is stored over here. Okay, but what I told you now, this return value, sorry, this append value does not return anything. It only modifies. It will not return, means you cannot do this particular part. You cannot create a new list and assign the value like this, and it will try to modify. No, it will not happen. You cannot do this. C equal to this one and print one. So therefore only I did this. I wanted to show you this particular part. So many people get confused with it. Let's say if I will print C, you will get a null value. Why none? Because this item, sorry, list appending that you are doing, append method does not return anything. It do not have the capability to return anything. It can only modify. Understand the difference? It can only modify. So when you are trying to modify this particular thing, now you can only get the values here. Now if I, let's say, print L1 now, you will see that now this particular thing is happening. Okay, so that is a core understanding that you need to take. Okay, so whenever see like methods like let's say you will now see about append method, extend method also. Now let's suppose if I try extend, let's suppose now you have L1, and if I do L1 dot extend L2, L2, L2. Now if you print it, right, let's say if you print now L1, you will see that now you're getting 1 2 3 4 5 6 like this properly, but we already have this L1 L2 like this. Okay, I'll remove this one. It's not, I'll copy this one. I have this one. Now if I extend it, see here guys, I got 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 like this, whatever values are there. What I told you now, extend will not add the like the item assignments like this. It will separately try to extend it. So whenever you want to add the two different list or anything, try to use the extend method. Similarly, if you try to do something like this, let's say d equal to this one, sorry, d equal to, let's say, L1 dot extend, and if you now try to print the d, okay, it will show the null value only. Okay, why? Because guys, what I told you, methods like append, extend, sort, let me just write it very specifically here. In bold, I'll write, okay? Methods like append, extend, sort, okay? We'll see after that, right? Sort, reverse, all these methods, okay? Work in place, okay? They do not return the value. So when you try to assign the variable to it, it will be okay. It will be right. So I hope you understood this particular part very, very perfectly. Okay. So any issues to anyone till here, guys? Anything? So you understood this, right? Why exactly it is not pumping? Okay. Till here, all clear, everyone? Oh, fine. Now, guys, see, we talked about append method, we talked about extend method. Now
Sir,
we have, sorry, yes.
I have one doubt. As you said, like extend and append, whatever we are passing the element, it will add at the end of the list, right? So is there any way, like, for example, you have given me like notebook 1, notebook 2, book 2, and then notebook. If I want to add notebook 3, before the notebook. Is there any possible way?
Of course. This is what exactly is index will do that.
Okay.
What particular index to add and how to do that? It will do that. Okay. Adding an element at a particular, let's say whenever you want to, add it, you can add it there also. Okay. You have the method for it. Great question. Okay. Great question. Okay. See here. Now let's talk about pop. So now again, pop is just like another function. You can say, sorry, method that you have in list. By default, when you try to add a pop, automatically the last index is popped out from this particular place. Means pop an item from the list. So by default, pop takes up the element at the last index. Okay. But if you specify the index, let's suppose now if you just run, okay, mylist.pop. Okay, let's say print mylist. And if you do mylist.pop, automatically this last element is what there. You will see this, dub. So that is being popped over here. If you now print it, you will see that is being removed. But now let's suppose now if I specifically want to add, let's suppose now, okay, I want to add the pop the element of the, let's say, 0th index. So what is at the 0th index? 1 is written. If I now print it, you will see that, yeah, let me just print it. My list, see here guys, the first element is now popped up. Okay. So whenever you want to remove some certain kind of element, it might happen, right? Let's say you want to remove something. Okay. So at that particular time, if you want to pass the index, understand here. If you want to, if you simply pass the pop, automatically the last element is being removed. Okay. But let's suppose now if you specifically wants to, let's say, pop an element from a particular index, then you need to pass that particular index over there. Got it? That is how exactly the pop will do. Exactly in similar way, remove, will try to remove an item from this particular list. By default, let's say remove will try to remove a specific element from the list. Remove takes the element as an argument. Now let me just show you. What I told you now, what's the difference between a pop and element? Remove. Pop is taking index as an argument. Understand here. What's the difference? Pop is taking index as an argument. Example, remove element from let's say second index. Okay. And at the same time, remove is there. Remove is taking डायरेक्टली वर्ड, मतलब क्या, एलिमेंट, आपको एलिमेंट का नाम देना पड़ेगा, ओके, इसको निकाल दो, इंडेक्स वहां पे नहीं चलेगा, देयर इंडेक्स विल नॉट वर्क, यू स्पेसिफिकली हैव टू मेंशन, ओके, दिस इज अ नेम एंड जस्ट रिमूव दिस पर्टिकुलर थिंग. Okay, remove is taking the element as an argument. Now see here, let's suppose now I have this one, and if I want to, let's say, remove these things over here, let's say from here, see here guys, now it's done, we will see that is removed from here. Let's suppose now if I want to remove, let's say, this part. Okay, let's suppose I want to remove this append me, this one. Okay, running fine. See here guys, that is being removed from here. Okay, so small thing, simple difference, but very effective, right? Let's say many times now it's not possible, right? Okay, let's suppose you have 1000 elements, so will you be counting, let's say, what particular index we have to remove? Definitely not, right? Let's say at that particular time you can use directly, you can use the remove, directly pass the name that you want to remove, right? Pretty easy to understand. So I hope, guys, this is making sense to everyone. Okay, now again, the count method you have, you can always get the count of any kind of element that is there. Let's suppose now you want to count at what, see here, count the number of times the element is occurring. Let's suppose now you want to calculate how many times this number word is occurring. It will come like this. If I want to calculate how many times 1 is occurring, so it will automatically calculate 2 times 1 is occurring. Okay, so count will give you the number of times that particular element is occurring. So therefore, see, you might feel a little bit confusing, but don't worry. Very simple and straightforward. Many of them methods are not always used. Very few are there. That's the whole thing of Python, right? 70% of the time you'll be doing simple loops, for loops, simple functions, simple classes, simple append methods. It's not like every single thing that you use is being used. So like this, now if you see what I told you guys, Python is an open source thing. Open source means tomorrow you can also go and write some simple kind of code and you can add that as a functionality inside the list. If that get approved, that is also there. So like this, now if you go to the list of list functions or go to the list data type, you will literally see like hundreds different methods are already there. Okay, now understand that. Let's suppose now if I do show you one thing only, see here, say L1 equal to say 1, 2, and 3. If I let's say do L1 dot, see here guys, append, clear, copy, count, extend, insert, pop, remove, sort. Okay, all these things are there, which are very, very important. Like this, we have multiple things that you can do with the list. Okay, and we are learning about them, all of it. And let's say whenever you don't understand, let's say what index is doing, simply search about it, what it is doing then. No need to buy it. Even if you ask me, let's say 10 days after, okay, tell me difference between count and this particular thing, I might get confused because it is such a small thing and it is not possible to remember that particular thing, right? So when you have a tool which can directly tell you, see, don't keep in mind. See, I have seen many freshers, sir, we are not able to remember that. Sir, we are not able to remember that. Arey, you are not appearing for the school exams, right? Where you need to buy heart something and go there. You are appearing for the real world job. And in the real world job, guys, we expect the results, not the by heart or not the by learning or how you're doing that. I don't care how you're doing that. Okay. So try to use the tools that you have. Don't force yourself. I've seen people, they're forcing themselves, okay, I should remember this. I should don't force that. Force yourselves to understand the logic behind the question. Not to force, okay, what you will do to, what you will exactly do if you, even if you remember what count does and what index does. Such a silly question. It is just as silly as the question, right? If you just go read one line, you will remember that, okay, count will do, it will count the total number of things. Index will try to do some different thing. Similarly, now in here, what we did, remove is there. It will, remove function will try to remove the index at the right? Yeah, index. No, remove will try to take the element and pop will try to take the index. Very, very simple and related things, right? But functionality is same only. So that is how exactly these things are working. Now, when you talk about the index, what you are doing now, let's suppose this is there, it will just try to print the index of a particular number. Okay, y is present in this particular index. And you can see 3 is present at the first index, 0 and first, right? First index be present. Okay. Now, this sort function that you've done, right? This sort function will try to, sort this particular list into the ascending or the descending order. You can go into the ascending order or descending order. Let's suppose now you have this num list. And if you just simply use the sort, so by default, ये ascending order में होगा. Okay? By default, it's ascending order. You specifically have to mention reverse equals to 2, then it will be descending order. Got it? So I hope exactly you understood how things are working. Now again, guys, I think all these things we have already seen. Reverse equals to true kiya, means what will happen? Whatever things will just get reversed over here. Dot reverse, every single thing will go and reverse it. Okay. So, these are the few functionalities that actually comes with it, right? Now, there are a few more that are remaining. Let's say 2, 3 are there. We'll just try to cover them up. Okay. And then we'll try to wrap it up. Great. Now, see here, guys, what do we have? Nested list. Let's say now you have, let's say 3 different lists, list 1, list 2, and list 3. Guys, one more thing I'm telling, okay? Even if you get the code from somewhere, let's say you are asking the GPT, you are getting a code, don't leave and don't get the habit of copy pasting the code from this particular stage. Yeah, up to when you're getting into industries, copy that, paste that, that's totally fine. There you just need to get the results. But to get into the industry, they ask for the logics. And when you actually write that particular code, at that time it is very, very different than copy and pasting the code. Okay, so even if the whole solution is in front of you, write it. Okay, even if the whole solution is in front of you, write it. Okay, don't leave the writing. Write that, okay, this is how exactly I'm writing. Create the list again. Right, okay, L1 equal to this, L2 equal to this, L3 equal to, write it. No problem. Okay, and now see, if I now do list of list, what I'm doing, I'm trying to append all the 3 lists together. So you can see I have the 3 lists together. List is same only. Now if I now see list of, now if I do list of list ka first element means what? See here. First element will be what? 0th element is this one. Right. First element is this one and second element this one. Now understand here one more thing. Now let's suppose now I want to print 1 from here. So what will I do? Anyone, guys? I want to print the 1 from this particular thing. So how exactly I'll print? What I'll do here? So for that particular part, how we'll do is, it's a list of list is there. See here. First of all, I will check this 1 is present in the which index. You can see it is present in the first index. First index is what? 1, 2, 3. So first of all, I'll print that one. 0. You can see 1, 2, 3 got. And from this 0 now, again, I need to access the 0th element only. See, I got the 1 element. Okay. If you now do 1 over here, you will get the 2 over here. Now at the same time, let's suppose if you do 1 over here and 1 over here, tell me, okay, if I do now 1 and 1, can anyone tell me which element will be printed here, guys? If I do this one, which element will be printed, guys?
2, because
Look carefully. First of all, think from this perspective first, and then you will have to go inside this. It's a nested, right? See, first of all, outer one is there. So first of all, we'll see A, exactly, right? A will be printed. How exactly A? Understand here. First of all, we'll think about the outer list. So what are the, see, now inside this particular main list, how many elements we have? How many elements we have inside this particular list? We only have 3 elements. Major elements kitna hai? Only 3 hai, right? One element here, this one, second element, and the third element. 3 elements only. So now when I say this first over here, so what this first will print now, first of all? First will print 0, this one, and first is this one. So, okay. So it will print, sorry, first, right? So BAD, this one, BAD. And now from this BAD, now again I need to access the first element. So now what will come? 0th element is this one, first element is this one. Okay, we get an A value. Make sense? Now you understood? Okay. Okay, now tell me what this will print. Okay, now tell me. Okay, first of all, everyone, what this will print? What this will print? List of list ka second. What it will print?
7, 8, 9.
Exactly. And now from here, let's say if I do 0, what will print now?
7.
Exactly, right? So it's like as simple as that. Means, see, this is now, see, this is as a one whole element over here. One bracket is there, and inside that you have one whole list is that means stored here. That is like a one element. List inside a list. This is one element, second element, and third element. And inside that element, now you again have the different values. Then you will access that after going into this particular part. Means now when I write a 2 over here, means what? Now I am already inside the 7, 8, 9. And now from 7, 8, 9, what I need to do? Let's suppose if I do, let's say A equal to this one. Okay. And now if I do, let's say A ka 1, sorry. A, like if I print the A, now what is A? 7, 8, 9. Now if I do A ka 0, what will come? 7. Now if I do A ka 1, what will come? 8. Right? But instead of writing like this, we are directly writing like this. First bracket will consider of outer one, and second will be consider of inner one. Okay. So that is how exactly this nested indexing works. Okay. Nested indexing works. Now see here. Yeah. Okay. So guys, I think it was pretty good, right? I think we covered almost every single thing that we have. Now that is one thing is remaining, how to add an element to a specific index, right? Or a specific position into a list, right? That is the only part that is remaining. Now understand here. For that, okay. Meanwhile, guys, any issues to anyone? All good? Okay, fine. So for that, guys, see, we have something called as insert function. Insert. So what this insert function will do is, guys, let's say this insert function will try to add an element to a specific index, or add element to the index or specific position. Okay, so this is like one of the super useful things, right? So it will usually take, let's say, insert, then you need to specify, let's say, index, and let's say what is the value that you want to give over there. Okay, now let's suppose now you have my list. Okay, so my list equal to, let's say, it's already there. This is my list. Okay, now let's suppose now inside my list, now I want to add, let's say, on the first index, I want to add the value of, let's say, 2. Wait. So first index, I want to add a value of 2. Let's say, what happened? 0 and first and second, right? So why not? List object is not callable. Why? Oh my God, sorry. My insert we have to do, right? So my list dot insert, right? And then it will pass that value. Let's suppose now add 1 and 2 I want to add. We'll see that, guys. Now if I print my list, you will see that now at the second index, 0, first, oh, wait. What happened? First index, sorry. Index C, what I told you, index first, and what is the value that you want to insert. So first zeroth index and first index. So first index pe we have inserted the second value, right? Now let's suppose now I'll add, let's say, my list dot insert. Okay, and let's suppose now at the second index, means what? This is first index, zeroth index, first index, and second index. So in this particular index, I want to add, let's say, John. Okay, and if I now put in my list, say like John. Now see guys, understand one thing. This Luba was already there in the second index. So just because we are inserting something doesn't mean that it will automatically get deleted. It will just shift its position to the next side. Okay, now this Luba was at the second index, now it is at the third index. That's it. It will not delete. Okay, it will only shift to the one single part. Next side, shift to child. Right? So that is how exactly this thing actually works over here. Okay, so makes sense now, everyone? Yes, wonderful. So guys, I hope this whole session was very, very interactive for everyone, right? You might have understood, how things are working. So now guys, I'll be sharing one Google form with you, okay, today only. So, till the time now we have done 5 sessions. So, you can just write a review about it, okay? So if you think, we can do some kind of addition to it, if you think we can do some kind of modifications to it, maybe we can go a little bit slow or a little bit fast, okay? But see, according to me, guys, this is perfect speed, right? I mean, spending 2 hours is completely fine, and the space with which we are going is like completely fine. I don't see that happening like too fast or something. But still, if you feel it, let me know. We can, definitely think about it. Right, okay. Now let me check any issues to anyone. Great, wonderful. Okay. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for joining. And tomorrow we'll again join. Meanwhile, I'll share you the assignment. Right now, see, by tomorrow afternoon, right, try to solve the assignment that I have already given to you about that strings, and also try to add the assignment that I'm gonna give you now. Okay, on the string list also you'll get one assignment, and on the strings also you have to solve that particular assignment. Try to solve it. Whatever you don't understand, we'll sit and discuss and we'll try to do it. And tomorrow we'll move on to the next data type. Okay, so